What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle for the next episode of Empyrion. From this point forward, said the needle maker. Never mind. So from here on, we're probably going to be working on both the base. I don't know, there's not a ton of things that we need to get done at this location any longer, and so I'd really like to make a spacecraft, but realistically, I'd like to knock over all the towers before we leave as well and get all the free loot. So in between episodes, I farmed up a bunch of ore. We've got like 600 of every type of ingot. We're good to go on ore. There's really nothing else that we need right there. The vehicle, I worked on it a little bit last night, but I'd like to work on it today as well. I decided I'd like to do that on camera rather than just like doing it in my free time. Just because some people are really satisfied with the building process. That's something that they like to watch. But for right now, I think I've got everything that I need in order to redesign the craft and make it look a little bit nicer. I just haven't gotten around to slapping all of it onto the vehicle. So I look forward to slapping the vehicle violently with you. Just don't tell any vehicle protection agencies. They might show up and we might get in a little bit of trouble. I don't think there's anything else on this list that I want. I've been crafting and just like moving around and making sure that I have things for quite some time now. It should all be fine. How many metal plates do I have? 300? Let's make like 20 of you, like 50 of you. I just want to make sure that I have a ton of blocks and I never have to fiddle with anything ever again. I did the same thing when it came down to building like generators and fuel tanks and stuff like that. But we should be all good right now. In between here in the last episode, it's been 2 or 3 days since I recorded and they actually touched up all of the different textures. It looks like they had an artist go through and just make all the textures look tighter. I don't know if they were already in the game and they were just waiting to be switched on by some internal file or something like that, but all the textures look a little bit nicer right now, at least the ones on my character. Our guns look a little bit cleaner. They moved, actually, you know the thing that I said where I said the flashlight was too low? Now it's up a little bit higher so that you can actually use it to point at things, and so that's good as well. Oh, I know what I needed. I needed some repair thingies. My repair gun is out of charges, and I need a magazine for that because it just loves to read. I miss magazines. I really sincerely do. There's something good about a gaming magazine, like a crisp gaming magazine that just arrived like at the beginning of the month. I used to get GamePro and Game Informer. Those are the two that I used to get when I was a kid, and I got those for years. Like, seriously, I have like 5 boxes in my closet right now of like all the issues from 2001 or 2000 and forward. Of like all their issues, just like hundreds of magazines sitting around. I should go back through them at some point and have a look. I'm actually going to get rid of you. I don't love you anymore, so you got to go. Instead, what I would very much like is if we could sit here for just a second, be bestest friends. It needs a fuel pack. Ah, that explains a number of things. This is going to take forever, isn't it? Oh, it's not going to take that long. We'll give it... How many metal pieces do I have while I'm sitting here? That's enough. I mean, it's not a ton, but I think I'll be able... How many do I got? I get 3 out right there. Okay. I had a vocal malfunction. It happens every now and again when you work on YouTube. When you're doing any sort of broadcasting, sometimes you just get into a mode where you're like... And you can't say the things that you want. It becomes very upsetting. When you're like on the radio or something like that, in general, you learn to curtail it by just like shutting up. Like, shutting up is an amazing strategy for like keeping things like that from happening. And so after you slip the first time... Usually what I'll do is I'll just get quiet for a while, but my channel is sort of known for the fact that I don't leave you guys with a whole lot of auditory silence. Do I need to say auditory? I guess you can have things other than... Well, I don't know. I'll just say silence. It seems a little bit redundant. I don't like to trip over my own words like that, though, I guess is what I'm leaning towards. Go away! I don't love you little floaty blocks. I want my car to totally rock. Let's get rid of you. There we go. Looking nice. And then I would like for you... I don't know how I'm going to get that thing. There we go. I was a little bit worried my headlight wasn't going to come off, but it did perfectly fine. I did dent the rest of my vehicle, though, which is unfortunate. Let's grab some of these whole quarter rounds. And I think what I wanted to do with these is we were going to take them. I had it right there. We're just going to move them around like so to make this look a little bit cleaner. And then on this side, that's all looking great. I think we're going to need to round this out somehow. On this side, I'm thinking about leaving this little gull wing right here because I think it looks good. I think it looks really good. I like the way that it looks. I'll probably put that right there. You can still see that gap right there, so unfortunately I'm going to have to cover that up somehow. Repair tool, come here. I have need of you. One more time. I need you so bad, baby. I need you. It's always got that one pellet. It's always got that one pellet that goes through after it destroys everything. And you're just like, stop denting. There we go. That looks, I don't know. it might look a little bit wacky. I wasn't able to find that inverted block that I was looking for this side. I swear to God, there was an inverted block. Like, if you take a look at the escape pod over there, it's on it that I think helps blend this into this. But I don't know. It was weird, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I think... I don't know what I want to do with the back end either. I think I'm going to have to keep it wide. It's also, I forgot to... I have to even it out like a so. Yep, that one pellet every time. Perfect. Destroying that block like it owes me money. There we go. So now that that's out of the way, we'll repair all of that right there. I still don't really know what I want to do with the back part of this thing. I figure what I should do, anyways, is put in all the requisite parts first, though. So, if you didn't watch my episode about building the vehicle, you need a generator, a fuel tank, you need an RCV, you need a couple of thrusters, you need side thrusters, front thrusters, all thrusters. Seems to work out pretty well. Oh, I forgot a thruster, too. Well, that's gonna suck, because we won't be able to take this thing out. I knew I needed an extra thruster for something. Last night I was thinking about it while I was working on this. I was like, I thought I needed 2 thrusters for something, and it upsets me that I can't figure out what I needed them for. Now, these I can't decide if I want them exposed or not, or if I want them to be in the center. There's really no need. I guess I could put that in the center with the generator. And now that the generator is all centered up, I need a control block too. At the fuel tank. And now at the fuel tank, it sort of needs to be exposed. Like, I could put it right there, and I'm sure it'll look perfectly fine. Can I rotate it at all? Yeah, that'll look pretty good. It'll make our car glow while we go out. I mean, it sucks putting vital parts anywhere exposed on your vehicle because it virtually guarantees that if you take fire, your prime parts are going to take damage, and if they break, you're going to end up with a situation like we had a couple of episodes ago where your vehicle's just going to be stranded out in the middle of nowhere, and you're going to have like this oxygen vapid hell that you're going to have to work your way through in order to get there. It's very, very unfortunate when it does occur. By the way, I love oxygen. Can I have some? Good. The machine's like, no, not today. I'm not feeling it. Sorry, no oxygen for distribution today. Come back later. I could also use some sausage. The only thing that sustains me. Over on this side, where's my control block at? I know I made one. Control block is right there. I guess the core is what you can call it if you wanted to be super cool. If you wanted to use the proper terminology. I'll probably take like half of those with me. I knew there was a reason that I left those in there too. I've got a ton of you. I've got like a ton of you. That's fine. Come along with me. And then the last thing that I needed was extra thrusters. Let me get those going. The reason that I'm going to knock over all the towers before we leave is because the towers have like a ton of supplementary gear that's really, really useful for like building random stuff. Like, I've essentially been able to build as much stuff as I wanted to ever since we knocked over the first tower because it gave me so many random little bits and parts. I needed a directional thruster, I think, so that I could put on the brakes or something like... Is that for the right thing? No, that's for... No, that's for the wrong vehicle. That one right there. There we go. I needed it for a GV. GV! Off we go. That's... I don't know if that reference is even going to hit with anybody. I bet it won't. I bet it won't. People are going to be like, so what was the point of that? And I'm like, well, it was like a vague reference to the early 90s. Just don't worry about it. Never mind. I don't care. It kind of looks like a ciabatta loaf. I don't know. Making me kind of hungry. The front of our craft looks like a bread loaf, and it makes me super, super ready for dinner. And I just woke up, so it's not even like that important right now. I don't know if I should round out these bottom blocks right here. I don't know. This is going to be one of those things that I have to sit and stare at for a while, otherwise I'm going to do it improperly. I just want to put in all the vital stuff first so we can get back to exploring. I broke this thing down in between episodes like a dunce, and then I just like failed to put it back together. And so what I'd like to do is, well, I wanted to have 3 thrusters on the back. I thought that sounded super awesome, but I don't know if it's going to work out. So what I may try to do here is if I take this out a little bit further, and let's say that I go in like right there, and right there, and I just give it a little bit. See, every now and again it double places blocks like that, and I still can't figure out why it does it. Before you have the repair tool, it is especially infuriating. It'll drive you nuts before you have the repair tool, because then you gotta sit there and like punch it to death and make it go away. On the back end, I like to get like a little template drawn whenever I build anything that's supposed to be looking cool when I get done with it. And then after that, I sort of just trial and error it out. Take these down this way. at some point. This is going to add a lot to the mass, but it should be okay in the end, I think. So if that's over there, and that's right there, I'm going to have to round out the bottoms right here, so let's do that too. So I think that if I go through, I don't know, I'll take a look at it first and I'll see if I like it or not. I'm going to wipe out a couple of these blocks right here, and I think that rounding it off might make it look a little bit cleaner. Go with that block right there. It's weird because, like, I never know whether I should do these episodes or not, or whether I should just, like, ignore them and pretend like they don't exist. Like, I'm never quite sure. It's one of the big things that I'm always a little bit concerned about whenever I do a game with a lot of building and a lot of, like, crafting. It's one of the reasons why I've never touched on Minecraft, for example. Also, the fact that that's kind of like a black pit as far as YouTube goes. It's a bad plan to do unless you're only going to do Minecraft and you're really good at it. Minecraft is a bad call on YouTube. But for right now, I think that's going to need a rounding block on this side, maybe. Either way, I can fiddle with that for right now. Oh my god, they made it so that that's really cool. So what the developers did is you used to have to reorient the block every single time that you went to a different hotkey and you came back to this one. You used to have to reorient the block. The developers have been patching like crazy over the last week or so. And so I think it allowed them to add a new thing where it maintains the orientation of the block while you're working until you otherwise change it, which is way more satisfactory. If you're asking why I needed 5 blocks over here, it was just to space the thrusters properly, or I guess otherwise it's going to look a little bit odd. I think that's lined up like so. There we go. I think they also fixed my hotkeys because things aren't rotating oddly. When we run out of sunlight, that's probably when I'll go do something else for a while, because that tends to be the big stop block for me as a workman. I don't like working in the dark because I always screw something up and then it looks weird. There we go. I actually feel like this is going to look pretty sick once it's done. It's going to be a little bit large, but you know, I don't think that's really a bad thing. This is a lot of extra armor too, so there is the possibility that we might be able to get out of this without leaving ourselves very glass cannon-y. Cool. So this is for our faction. If I jump up in here right now, oh, I don't have thrusters. This thing isn't going to, I wonder if my hover is going to be able to hold all this. I may have to put a second hover on the bottom too. That would suck. Well, it won't suck that bad. It just means I got to use up more electrical supplies. It is what it is, I suppose. Probably go in like so. And then on this side, I really don't know what I plan to do with it. It's going to be a little bit weird right here because I got to get this to taper cleanly into this back part. But the first thing I'm going to do is let's throw a couple thrusters on this thing so that I can fiddle with it later. I have like this horrible feeling that I'm not going to be able to bring this thing with me anyways. I'd like that to be flush if at all possible. I think it'll look better that way. There we go. And then we'll build the blocks around it so that it's got a little bit of like a depression around these things, I guess. I don't know. I got to build like a cylinder around this to make it sort of... I want it to look like F-Zero. That's what I want it to look like. And so I think if I can get that done, it'll be pretty sick. I told you it was just going to look like the front of like a Y-Wing. That's essentially all that it looks like. I'm going to try and strap something onto the back over here, and then if I put a couple of these little wings on the sides, the other thing that we'll be able to accomplish by using that is that our headlights might work a little bit better. So I don't know if I want to put them on like so. How do I have it on this side? Oh, I took it off. Okay. So I could either put that in like right there, or one forward. I'm going to go one forward because I think it looks cooler. I mean, it does leave us with a weird block space right there, but I guess I can live with that for a little while until I figure out a way to fix it. Why won't you attach? There you go. Attach for me. And that's going to be the final thing that we needed to drop on there for the moment. I don't love the way that that looks, but I think that I can live with it. And what I'll have to do, I think, to make it look smooth is I got to take the rounded block out from underneath and just put in a square block. But for right now, I'm happy with my project. There are little things that I'll fiddle with it as time goes along, because I think it needs to change up slightly. We need another thruster too, so that I can put on the brakes when I need to. Did I already put the... I thought I had a thruster already. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I'll figure it out in a minute. We're going to go back up into here, grab some rockets, grab some other random stuff, then we're going to go over that tower over there on the horizon and see if we can wipe that thing out without getting killed. This time I'm going to park the vehicle pretty far away and just hoof it in, and we'll see if we can make the whole thing work. I'd like to find some defilade if we're going to really make it work, but one consideration at a time, I guess. Okay, I've also gone through, and I've gotten a lot of the stuff made for our spacecraft just in case. I think we need a whole bunch of like slanted thrusters and like some other random stuff in order to get it to work. But I figured I'd put it all on craft while we waited. The final thing that I needed was another one of, did I build one already? Yeah, there it is. That's what I needed. That is what I needed. And then while I wait, I'm going to make the RCS for our vehicle. I'm going to make, what is this right here? Landing gear. Oh, okay. So maybe like 2 or 3 or 4 landing gears. I'm not really sure what I want to do with the landing gear. It is going to take me forever to build this space vehicle, though, because I don't want it to be ugly when I go out in space. It'll make me super sad if we have an ugly vehicle and everybody else looks like they're driving space Bugattis. Like, this is not pleasing to me. Why does everyone else look cooler than me? This is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. And that's actually pretty literal right there. I'll probably go with a directional thruster too. I mean, you should probably stick with the directionals. And then after those are done, I'll worry about the other stuff. So with this, why would I put a thruster on my house? I was gonna say, that seems like an odd decision to make. Turn on my jetpack so I don't break my ankles when I fall off of here. Because it has happened many, many times in the past. So once we get the vehicle rebuilt, I don't know. I'm still not like super happy with the back end. It looks like my lamp moved. That's odd. Huh. Weird. Alright, well I want you to be over here so that I can actually see what I'm doing. Work lamp. Can't see which way the lamp is facing. Like this over here will probably be okay. There we go. I can totally see now. That's pretty cool. It's still got a little lamp on the front, but I'll have to make a couple of those before we can do anything else. I don't know. It might be a little bit too long. I might need to take a couple blocks off and then attach it back here so that it's not quite so lumpy, but I don't know. I've already built so many parts at this point that... Where's this thruster at? I can't see which way it's facing. Facing upwards. There we go. Now it's facing semi-properly. I think if I put it right there, it should be good. Let me slap this thing. Oh, that's right. I haven't actually put in any fuel yet. So let's go ahead and refuel this thing real quick. There it is. It's all fueled up, and now we sort of just have to hope that it'll get off the ground. When in doubt, you can usually... Oh yeah, with 2 thrusters, we should be alright. The braking is a little bit weak, but who needs to go backwards anyways when you can just go forward faster? I mean, at the end of the day, I can sort of just turn it around like so, and then just go for it, unless I run into these plants, which I think actually count as hard surfaces. Cool. Alright, I'm happy with it. I think that we'll fiddle with this more later as time goes along. But for right now, I'm sort of pleased with the way that it's coming around. I do think I'm going to take off like a layer or something inside of there to make it look a little bit nicer. Then again, I might not be able to because... Well... What the hell is that noise? That's right, you better run. You better figure it out, arachnid. Hip fire. Probably take all of those and all of those, even though I have no idea what I'm going to use them for. And this little asshole over here, I like to let him get nice and close, and then I'm just like, full burst fire! I don't know, I like going full auto on things. It's one of my passions. Going full auto with firearms makes me really, really happy. So yeah, we're going to need to raid a couple more towers so that we have enough electronic parts and I don't have to build them to finish our spacecraft. So let's get on that real fast. We still got one lamp. This seems very dusty. Seems like a severe asthma hazard. If you have any sort of like lung problems, don't stand next to the hover. I guess the one hover thing is working right there. I would like, is it like an Does it play gravitational fields against itself, or like how does it make us levitate like that? I should probably get some more oxygen while I'm here too. The food I'm not that worried about. Rockets though I am sort of worried about. I only have 6 rockets remaining, and that's not enough rockets. How are you going to make it through life with just 6 rockets? That's not nearly enough rockets. You need like at least 20 of these. So I'll probably go, yeah, 3 of those seem pretty good. I'll come back when they're done. Alright, so we ready, G. Let's go ahead and take care of one of these towers while we're out here. I think we might be able to race the sun a little bit to get her done. And I wanted to get the remainder of the parts off all these buildings before we do anything else. Yeah, I'm definitely have to fiddle with those little wings on the side. Damn, we're quick now that we have 2 thrusters. That's way better. I enjoy this. I also like running over creatures. Yep, there it is right there. Roadkill. Celestial roadkill is what I like to call it. Although I think that might be playing up its divinity a little bit too much. I lost sight of what I was doing. It's not the first time. Will more than likely not be the last time. There's no guns on our vehicle, so if you're concerned about that, there's a big dent in our vehicle now, I bet. Ooh, there he is. There. Okay, so we got this. Levitation! Ooh, I don't know what just launched me into the air right there, but thank you. Giving me a little bit of lift. You are the wind beneath my wings. Oh, Christ. Guys, I fell in a ditch. I fell in a ditch and I feel very guilty about it. This little Badlands area over here. Oh, Christ. Hold on. Jump out, jump out, jump out. We have a combatant over here. Oh, we have multiple problems. Oh, Jesus. Oh, are you kidding me right now? I'm very much stuck inside the walls. No! Are you for real right now? No! How am I gonna get jumped by that much stuff? I will spawn... I don't know, near my current death location sounds good. Doesn't sound quite so... Are you for real? Ugh! That is not what I desired. Although I do see my stuff right there. How hard is it gonna be to loot? Can I make this happen, Captain? Loot it all! And then give me your gun. That's all that I care about. I don't even know what this dude's shooting at me right now. Might be lasers, it might be anything. Or is he? Oh, he's right there. That's what you get for your betrayal. That's what you get for your ballistic betrayal, my friend. Man, now I gotta go back to base and get oxygen, like breathe more. I like how there's a little light on your backpack. That's pretty cool. I was worried I wasn't going to be able to find it in the middle of the night. Alright, well, I guess it's probably a good spot to break off the episode since now I got to do a whole bunch of like random stuff and go get oxygen. And it's nothing that you need to see on camera. In the next episode, we're going to try and patrol the planet and get rid of everything that's a threat to us. I thought I heard something. I got scared. I'm getting jumpy. I've never died before, and now I feel embarrassed about the whole thing. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the next episode of Empyrion. My name is Splattercat. Hi-do, everybody. I will see you next time.